Okay, Tony, one more video here. I changed the outlook of the screen. If you want this, I can send this file to you. Doug had mentioned something about, he doesn't like the colors of the preview. So, a few things I did on the screen. I added some buttons now. So if we hit light torch, it'll turn on light torch. Cut, it'll turn on those outputs. Torch off, it'll turn off all those outputs. Go to 0 for Doug. This should take him to 0 if he's not at 0. So let's say I put 10 inches there and 10 inches there. So if we say go to 0, it'll move him to 0. So there's one way we can do it. If I can figure out what this OEM button is, we can set that OEM button on the control pendant. So maybe let's take a quick look at that and show you how I've done that one. Well, let me show you the colors here. If you want to change the colors, if you go to config, toolpath, you've got these colors here. I changed the feed rate color to 1. Then I hit OK and I regen toolpath, and then it updated the color. So if you play with that, you can get a little bit different colors. Yeah, I mean, I removed some buttons that you don't really need. I moved this stuff up here. I mean, these buttons do the same thing. I did add an MDI line, so if you ever wanted that on this screen, which I have found helpful, you could do that from this screen instead of having to go to the MDI screen and do all that. Obviously, this screen got jacked up. But, okay, so for now, I've changed this screen a little bit, and just noticing that the MDI screen got jacked up. I don't know if I'll send this one to you until I fix the other one. But point is that you can change the colors of your toolpath, and I can add an MDI to the screen if that's what you want, and do some other things. So maybe you should give some thought as to what you would like your screen laid out as, and we can go from there. So if I send you the file, all you have to do to upload a screen is just save this file again on your C disk in the Mach 3 folder. And they're .set files, so you just dump it in here anywhere. So like these 1024 ones are just the screen layout basically. So if I come up here, and you'll have to go to operator and go to unlock, and then you can go to view, load screens, and if I wanted to look at different screen, now I'm back to what looks like the older version. Well, this is a mill screen, but you get the idea. So if I go to view, load screens, plasma, open, here's another screen that in the makings. Unfortunately, that one's still jacked up. So I can do some adaptation of screens for you, although how much of that you're actually gonna need. This light torch, cut, and torch off buttons, you don't probably actually need them on your screen, but the way that OEM triggers work is that they trigger to a button. So if I can figure out how to get that to name my own OEM codes, then we can do it even though that button isn't on your screen, as long as we define things. And so I think what happened with that XML file is that maybe you gave me the one on your computer. What I need is the one off of the torch itself, because that's where we've made all those settings and everything. So you're gonna have to go out to the torch with a flash drive, go to Mach 3 XML files, and then find the the newest, in other words, the largest in the number plasma setup, and then send me that setup, because then it'll have all those inputs and outputs and how things are actually set up on that machine. So you're gonna have to go out to the torch and do it, and then send me that file, and then from that I can make changes and send you a file back. And it's a good idea to have this backed up anyway somewhere. So like on that flash drive I gave you, if you just make a folder called backups and put the macros I sent you and this, the latest version of the Plasma XML, whatever is in there, then at least if anything ever happens, we'll have those backups to dump back in the machine. So we can do a lot of different things yet with this. I think we're only kind of scratching the surface. Questions, obviously, send me an email. Let me